Good day, everyone. I thought today we could probably do a walk. I love to share my walks, and it seems like a lot of you do like to share them with me. And I did one last Tuesday, so I thought, why not do one this Tuesday? So the weather's been quite nice, so we will head out and might take you on a new place, and hopefully you enjoy my walk. And I don't know if I'll always make Tuesdays my walk days, but now that I know how much people do seem to enjoy them, and I mean, I walk every day, and basically the things I say in my videos are the things I'm normally just saying in my head. So all I have to do is just speak it out loud, and it's basically the same walk. Except for I do have to carry a camera around with me, but I'm so used to it at this point. It's funny how quickly we adjust to changes, and now that I have been documenting my days, which I'm still basically just doing the same thing. I just have to put more time in to make the time to set up the camera or press record, which I don't always do properly. But so anyway, yeah, let's just make today a fun walk, and we'll see where we end up. And I hope you enjoyed today's video. And all right, let's head out. Now, before we head off for today's walk, I thought we could take a quick little jaunt down to the beach because I'm going to head out and do the eggs, the chickens and the quail first. And the tide is higher today and we have some lovely waves. So I thought I'd go down and just have a little splash and just enjoy the waves with you before we go do the chickens and head off for our walk. So let's head on down. But it's early morning and I'm getting ready to go out to do the chickens and the quail and probably get ready for my morning walk. And I just thought I'm going to grab the camera just to let you watch the waves. I hope the audio is picking it up properly. It's hard to keep me out of the sea. I just wanted you to share that joyous moment when I wake up and wonder, what is the sea up to today? It really is like living with a temperamental person, a creative artist who you're willing to look past their bad temper, because when they're kind and they shine and do nice things, like have lovely waves and beautiful sound, it's all worth it. And you could see if I were to walk to or try to walk to our bridge today, it would be through the lower field because the beach is completely gone. And see how high in the distance the sea is up on the dock today? So I just did the chickens and the quail, and I want to show you something. So if I have one of my chicken's eggs, which actually is just about a medium-sized egg, and you see the quail egg, see how tiny it is next to it. So that already is delicate and sweet. But now this morning in the quail's nest box, I found this. Look at how tiny that quail's egg is compared to a traditional sized quail egg. Now this could just be, sometimes quails will just do this, or this could be one of my younger hens, just her first egg is a bit smaller. Now I have no idea if there's even a yolk in here. Sometimes these smaller eggs can just be the albumin, but I'm really, really tempted to say Providence or the miniature gods have spoken, and I think they want me to cook this tiny egg on my new little vintage stove. So I'm considering it. I'm still trying to decide. It is made from cast iron, which is what skillets are made from, so it can handle fire, I'm sure. So I'm really tempted to start a little fire and cook this sweet little egg. Wouldn't it be adorable? All right, I just wanted to share that. So morning waves, chicken eggs, quails, and miniature dreams. Just another morning here at Bunny Hall. So this path that I'm taking us on meanders along between a shared path of some of the homes here. And this is a shared piece of property that we all pay to maintain. And it leads to what is called the Yacht Club. But that's pretty tongue-in-cheek that it's called the Yacht Club, because it's true. In the summer, they meet and bring their little sailboats and their little skiffs. And during the day of the summer, there's sailing classes for the youths of the time and such. But there's no building or anything. But here you can see we're coming along this. So this mowed path is the shared path for our points. Oh, and hopefully you can see that giant pole sticking up there with a big bundle of things. Let's see if I can zoom in. That is an osprey nest. As I mentioned in another walk vlog, we put these poles up as often as we can, and also the Audubon also does them as well. But many of those of us who live here do try to put them up where we can. I think this one may have been put up by the Audubon because it looks quite official. Oh, and this is a fun bit. This is on the one of the neighbors whose property. This is their seafront here, abuts the path down to the yacht club. Air quotes, yacht club. There's no building, just a beach. I have this amazing little teepee made from old cut cedar. It's a fun spot for the children to play. And there's looks like a purple martin house. I think that's what it's for. And so you can see this is just a lovely wooded, on the edge, open path. A few of the neighbors' land does abut this, but this is all private land, so they're not that concerned, because those who walk by are mostly here in the summer, because that's when most of the houses have guests. And it's usually people everyone knows. Or guests of people everyone knows. So as we swoop along here, now I'm using my gimbal today. Normally I would carry my tripod so that I can set it down to get a better panoramic view. So I'm hoping that this isn't going to be too jumpy. But as we come along, you can see this is another path here leading to the fun little teepee or wigwam for the children to play in, or the adults to play in. I have to admit I've been inside. And I love that you can hear the bird in the wood, but yet just beyond the wood is the crash of the shore. Oh, and here, if you look through here as we come breast this hill, you can see there's some marshlands up there, because interlaced between the open sea and the harbors around us are little inlets of salt marsh where freshwater rivulets meet the sea, and brackish water exists for those creatures who need the environment of sea and fresh water. So here is our grand yacht club. I'm sure many more in our area can boast a far grander yacht club with a proper pavilion for summer dances. But this little private beach with its scraggy edges, woodland, and a few leftover old beach chairs is just what I think of as a true New England yacht club. And here now, if this were summer, this area would have kayaks and windsurfing boards and skiffs. And see, some people leave their someone's flippers. Now this beach compared to our beach is much sandier, and that's just because it opens out greater to the sea, where our little harbor has more of it traps the rocks a bit more. So here, if you look out, you can see the point jutting out, and that's the point that I see from our house, from our neighbor, that our neighbors live on. And then their neighbors have a really amazing dock that goes out into the open sea. They can sail their big sailboats and powerboat straight up to their door. And there's some amazing walks. Now, when I go on this way, we continue on this way. This actually leads towards various towns, but there's an amazing walk that we go on to that goes along the marshland and out to what we call the big chair. A neighbor had built a giant version of a beach chair that we like to go out and sit on, and they just built it for themselves and for any of us out here who like to sit upon it and enjoy the sea. But so you can see it's much more, this is a favorite swimming spot for many who live out here, because some who live out here don't have direct access to the sea, or they prefer to swim here where it's a bit more sandy, where I tend to really swim more out on our own beach. Which actually, once you get past the rocks and the switchgrass, is all pure sand like this. So I'm hoping the wind isn't blowing my gimbal so much that this isn't even usable. But here we go. We can walk this way. You can hear the surf pounding and see all the rocks of little rock walls, break walls up there. And there's a little bench to sit on a summer's day and watch the children swim. Oh, and there's someone has left their kayak up in there, because again, this is just a private beach, so people feel pretty confident about leaving things here over the season. And many family members will have, you know, straggling cousins who may only enjoy the house in the off season. I hope you can see that splash of the sea just there. And if you can see just in the trees there is a neighbor's house. They're quite close to the sea as we are. However, this is a little bit less protected than ours. There's actually a beautiful, along this point out here, I need to take us there someday. It's a place where I go, and there's an old farm that makes the most amazing blue cheese from these shaggy cows that they keep. And it's also a beautiful estate that when I walk there, I just pretend I'm in England, because it's very much an English estate feel. It was built in the mid-Victorian times, but you'll see, I'll share it one day. But I don't want to make this walk too long. I just wanted to show you that this is our yacht club, a sandy beach that opens out to the sea. A lovely spot to swim. I wish you could smell the brine and the salt air right now. And then in the summer, all through here and all along this path here where we just came down, along the beach here in the tall grass, will be all the day sailors, the little sailboats, the sunfish, and as I said, all the youth here learned to sail. They have a women's sailing club, they have a youth sailing club, and it's called the Yacht Club Beach, but obviously there's no building, which is fine, because that means building means more taxes. So one last look. And then again, I don't want to make this walk too long. And then let's head back home. It is fun this time of the year, as you see the, if I did a time lapse, you would see the beach chairs and boats and kayaks slowly disappear. But again, some people leave. I see someone's left their sail, probably to their sunfish, elasticated to that tree, and it will stay there all winter. And there's someone's seagoing kayak over there. Yes. So that's one of my walks to the Yacht Club Beach. And it's such a lovely day for it. And last night we had, as I said in an earlier bit of this video, I'm not sure if I had, but we were going to have a fire last night. And I thought, well, maybe I'll make a nice big bonfire on the beach to share with everyone. And in true New England fashion, the wind picked up and the rain came. So it was an inside kind of night with a hearth fire and a good book. And here you can see the backs of some of the houses whose, I have to say, I'm kind of happy that our property doesn't have a shared footpath, but that's probably just because I'm more of an introvert. Where these people do have a closer trip to our lovely Yacht Club Beach. But many more hello, howdy neighbors on a summer's day. Maybe I'll cut through this way and head towards the cypress log wigwam, because it might be kind of fun. And can you hear the surf still pounding in the distance, even though it feels as if we've slipped into a wood? Really, it's just a copse of trees. Oh, and yes, you can see how close we are now to the... I don't know why I zoomed in when I could have just walked to the end of it. But here you can see that garbled mess of a giant twig and branch configuration is ospreys. And something that I learned one year when I was kayaking is the bottom half of their nests are like another environment for all the little sparrows and other little small shorebirds. They just use the base of the osprey's nest. And of course, the osprey don't care. The osprey eat fish and seafood. So all the little birds have a lovely home made for them by the osprey. Yes, so here's the wigwam, or teepee, whatever you want to call it. Now you may hear some sound because the neighbors, who of course aren't here because it's not summer. Isn't that sweet? If I had someone holding the camera, I'd go in and get a shot of me in there, but you'll just have to imagine it. But here we're going inside and looking around. Yes, cypress log wigwam. And see, there's some of the little wetlands coming in. Now this little wetlands here with the phragmites in, that will be brackish water, because there's freshwater springs that will meet up here as the sea comes in. And then you get another type of sea creature living in there. Oh, here's a better view of the osprey nest. Now come summer, they will use the nest again and they build them up higher. That's actually quite flattened down because it's the end of the season. But you would normally see it quite tall. And when I kayak through our little harbor next to us, that's when I first really paid attention to all the small birds using the base of the osprey nests. I still need to take you on a kayak trip, but until I can afford to buy a GoPro, I'm not going to risk the only camera I own. And here you can see there are workmen out. I actually thought they were going to be making sound, which would interfere with this video, but looks like the neighbors are getting a new porch and deck to enjoy their sea view. Oh, and you know, these neighbors must be home because their flag wouldn't be out. This has been an odd year. There's been no summer season this year. It's just been since March. Many people who live from the Midwest to New York rushed to their summer houses. Oh, they are here because there's their sweet dog. Well, I apologize, but when I stopped to play with the dog, I inadvertently shut off my mic. But this was the end of our walk anyways. I just wanted you to see this beach that I also walked to, our Yacht Club beach, and just to share another part of my walk with you. So I hope you enjoyed it. Now I have been working on a sketch, another sketch in the sort of Mrs. Boylston series that has just sort of come up lately. So let's head home and I'll show you what I'm doing with that. So as I've been carrying the characters around in my head from the other painting I made, which I called the Mrs. Boylston, I just started sketching the other day. This is obviously our view, and that I show often with the house in the background and the big boulder. And I was just sketching the two characters again. They may or may not be the Mrs. Boylston. It was just sort of, these characters were in my head, so I was just having fun sketching. And so then I thought I would just show you again. This is sort of first stage sketching where I've sketched it out. Actually, this is second stage. I've already done a really quick sketch, and then this is a little bit more detailed pencil sketching, and then I go in and add some watercolor and chalks digitally just to kind of play with color and decide what I'm going to do. Often how I work is when I get characters in my head, whether they're animal or people, I just kind of carry them around with me during the day when I'm working on things. And I just kind of feel like they need to have another aspect of their story told. So I just started sketching and playing with the idea, and so I thought I would share it with you. And also for many who ask, this is obviously a sped up version of what I'm doing. This may even be a couple of days of work. I'll work a little bit and I'll make sure I record the screen as I'm doing it. But obviously I speed it up because it would be literally watching paint dry if you watched me add watercolor. Because even digital watercolor, the way this program works, it does have to dry. It takes just a few seconds to dry as opposed to, minutes to 10 minutes, but it wouldn't be that exciting to watch. But I just wanted to share it. And also others ask, I use an old program called Corel Painter 12, and I use a Wacom Cintiq 13 tablet that you draw directly on the screen, and it works so well that when I'm drawing, sometimes I forget I'm not actually drawing on paper, and I'll actually have used my hand to brush away erasers or to smudge things, trying to remind myself that I'm not actually drawing on paper, but on a computer screen. So, but yeah, that's the program I use, and that's the device I use to sketch and draw. I also still sketch and draw with pencil in journals and things as well, but then often I'll scan that into my computer so I can play with it, because I can build up different layers and things. So this will probably ultimately become a digital oil painting, as the other Mrs. Boylston that I made was. So I just wanted to share that with you today to see how my view influences my storyline for my artwork. All right, well, thank you for joining me today, and I will see you Thursday, and I will see you in the chats. And remember, stay creative.